Hello there everybody. So today we are making a wrap dress or iphinifa with a shawl collar. So I'll be using my half circle wrap skirt pattern. So I have a video here on my channel. You can go and check it out of how to make this pattern. So the title of the video is how to make a half circle wrap skirt. So I have here both the panels of the skirt. So the top panel is the back panel, and then the panel at the bottom is a front panel. So the front panel is a bit bigger than the back panel. It's 10 centimeters bigger on the waist. And I'll also be using my basic bodice pattern for the top part of the dress. So we'll make some changes here on the bodice so that it is a wrap bodice, and also we'll be adding the collar. Okay, now let us go on and make the changes on the bodice. So I'll just go on and trace my basic bodice pattern. Okay, I'll just trace everything as it is, the dots and everything. Okay, so as you can see that the way I position the pattern in the middle of the pattern paper, so that on the front part of the pattern I have enough space to extend my bodice so that it is a wrap bodice, and also will be able to make my collar. And now here we are. So we are extending the body. So from the center front out, so we measure 10 centimeters, and then you make a dot. And then after that, I'll go on and connect the shoulder and the dot and the 10 centimeter dot to make the wrap bodice. Okay. And now after that, I'll just go on and finish up the bottom and close the bottom as well so that it connects to the bodice. Okay, now we have the wrap bodice. Now we are moving on to the collar. So to make the collar, we need to take the back bodice and measure the neckline of the back bodice. Okay, so you just take your tape measure and carefully pose and measure it. And mine is 10.5 centimeters. Okay, so the next thing now is to extend this line. Okay, you extend it by the 10.5 centimeters, or by the measurement that you just took on your back bodice neckline. Okay, so as I said, mine is 10.5 centimeters. So I'll just extend it and then make a dot. And then after that, we come to the same line. So I'll just go on and measure from the line 2 centimeters. You can make it 1.5 centimeters. You measure here 2 centimeters or 1.5. So here we are trying to make the collar so that it is not gaping. When you're wearing your collar, it sits nice. There's no gaping. So we are just making something like a dot here, as you can see. Okay, so from now on, we will cancel this, the original line, and then we will use this the other line. Okay, so I'll just go on and cancel this other line. So now I'll measure from the new line. I'll measure now 10 centimeters. So now this is the width of the collar now, how big I want or how wide I want my collar to be. Okay, it's 10 centimeters. Okay, and then after this, you can just go on and freestyle your collar. So it must come from top, it must join from top, and then it must go to the bottom, okay, or to the waist. Okay, so you can, yeah, as I said, that you can just go on, you can make it straight, or you can just make a curve. Okay, it's up to you. You can just go on and freestyle it. And now here we are, we have the wrap bodice for our wrap dress with a shawl collar. And now the next thing is to make a facing. Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll just go on and trace the front part of my bodice. Okay, the collar part. Okay, so we are making a facing for the collar. Okay, so I'll just put a pattern paper on top of this of the bodice, and then I'll just go on and trace the collar part of my bodice. And now we go on and cut the patterns on the fabric. So this is my fabric that I'll be using. So I'm placing it on the inside out like this so that you can see, because it is more, it is kind of white. The outside is white, so that you can see whatever I do here. So I'll just go on and place my pattern on the fabric, and then I'll just add my seam allowance. So I'll do the same thing on all the other pieces of the pattern. Just place on the fabric, and then just add my 1 centimeter seam allowance, and then cut out the fabric. Okay, now we are done cutting the back panel. We are moving on to the front panel. So I just want to show you something here. Center front here, I usually leave about 2 centimeters of seam allowance here, because this is gonna be a hem or a fold, a double fold here. It's not gonna be a normal seam. So that's why on the center front of a wrap or a wrap dress, I usually leave about 2 centimeters or a centimeter extra than whatever seam allowance you usually leave. Okay, now we are moving on to the next part of the dress. So I want to extend my dress with a different fabric print at the bottom. Okay, so, but I still want it to just follow the same shape, the same flash shape. So what I'll do now is that I'll just go on and trace the shape at the bottom. Okay, so I'll just use my pattern as you see me do here, and then trace the bottom so that I get the shape. And then after that, I'll just move on and continue with the bottom part. And then after tracing the shape, I'll go on and make the length 25 centimeters. So I'll just put my tape measure from the shape line where I was taking the shape down and then make it 25 centimeters. So my skirt is 60 centimeters. My skirt, the pattern that I was just tracing now, is 60 centimeters. So when I add this now 25 centimeters, it will be 85 centimeters. So it's gonna be quite a long skirt. So the length, it really depends on you. You can make this more than 25 centimeters or less than 25 centimeters. It really depends on you. But this one is 25 centimeters, and then the main skirt is 60 centimeters. Okay. Okay, now this is how it looks after stitching the collar together. So now I'll just go on and close the back neckline. So I'll just attach the collar to the bodice and then go on and stitch it. And now this is how it looks after closing the back neckline. Now the next thing is to go on and cut out the facing, okay? So I'll just go on and cut out the facing so that I can attach it on the collar. And now we have our facing, so I'll just go on and stitch these two pieces together to make a single facing, and then I'll just go on and attach it to the collar. Okay, now it is the time to attach the bodice to the skirt. So I also went on and attached a pocket on the right hand side of my skirt. Okay, so now I'll go on and attach the two. So you just place your skirt facing up, and then you just place your bodice, and then you just make sure that side seam to side seam, and then you pin, and then you just go to the machine and stitch. Okay, now this is how the dress looks after putting the bodice and the skirt together. So remember the opening. So I'll have an opening on the right hand side. So that is where my belt will go through to go and meet the other belt. So I quickly want to show you something here. This is how I attach the skirt and the bodice. So here I kind of attach it in this way. I hope you can see this way, in a single way, so that when it's done, so all the raw edge will be hidden inside. Okay, so That means there will just be one fold from top, from the bodice down to the skirt. Okay, so I feel like it looks neat. It looks neat like this. Okay, and then after that I'll go on and attach my belts.